What's poppin', everybody? This is your girl Danny G, the owner and founder of MeltIt Candle Company. I wanted to come to you guys today to make my very first YouTube video talking about how to start a small Black-owned business. If you have questions, which I often get asked throughout this entire journey, which I'm young and fresh, I'm not even a year in, but the overall success people have noticed. If you have questions about how to start a business, how do I LLC it out, what steps do I take to start my business? What is my brand? What is a product? What is a profit? You know, the things like that, even down to when you LLC, how do I LLC my business out? What is a registered agent? Etc., etc., etc. Stick around with me. I'm gonna go over a couple things. I'm gonna make sure this video isn't long as fuck, but I'm gonna make sure that you guys have at least the foundation on how to start your Black-owned business. So the first thing that you wanna do is do your research. Figure out what product you're going to sell. And what I mean by that is it going to be a product that you create, or are you going to buy wholesale? Is this a product that's going to be an actual product or a service? Is this something that it has a field that's already saturated? You know, is it oversaturation in this particular field? Also, when you do your research, you'll be able to get a gist of the overall revenue of this product. Is this something that people actually need, or is this for the moment a trend? So prime example, what I mean is when it comes to my candles, I think it's like 1 in every 4 households have candles. Candles aren't going anywhere, period. Yeah, the overall field is kind of saturated because candles did become a trend during the pandemic. But we're going to talk about how to make yourself different than anybody and everybody else, so that you don't have to worry about people looking at your product and comparing it to somebody else's. So the step 2 is going to consist of your revenue. I think I said this earlier too, but your revenue. Is this product going to make you money? Is it going to make you a lot of money? Is it going to be something that you're going to be able to live off of, or is it going to be a hobby? So figure out the revenue. Like I said, candles, they are in 1 in every, I think, 4 households or 5 households. Candles aren't going anywhere. When you look at candles, you know name brands. You know places that sell candles, and you know the prices of them. So figure out your product, look into comparisons to your competition, and figure out, can you sell enough to live off of it? Once you figure out your product, you got to figure out your marketing and your branding. What is your brand? Your brand is going to be your identifier. When people see or smell or hear or taste or just visualize something, they know that it is you. They know that it is your product. So prime example, my candles, they're wickless. You put them on a warmer. They are gold 10. So we went gold about 6 weeks ago. They shimmer. When you put them on a melter, they shimmer. The type of products that I use in this, I can't tell you, but I have done a lot of research, and I know exactly why I chose these particular products, why I chose the fragrance, why I chose the wax, etc., etc., etc. So figure out your brand is going to be key when it comes to your marketing, because if you cannot market your brand, you will not sell any. Okay, so anyways, figure out your marketing. How are you going to market your brand? How are you going to market your product? Are you going to make TikToks? Are you going to be doing Facebook Lives, tutorials? Are you going to have an app? There are plenty of apps out here that will allow you to pre-make marketing material, and then it will post upon a schedule. You know, those are the things that are going to be very important when it comes to your overall success of your small Black-owned business, because without being able to market a product, you will fail. You know, why would I buy your product if I don't see it, I don't see any reviews, and I don't know exactly what it is? So figure out your marketing is going to be the next step when it comes to being successful when it comes to your Black-owned business. Here's just a side note on how I got started when it came to my company. I used to make candles as a stress reliever. I used to actually make wick, like an actual wick candle. But then after research, I realized that I don't want to put a wick in my candles, you know. And the reason behind it, I won't tell you, but the reason behind it is the reason why my candles sell so well. After I figured out maybe I'll be good at making candles, I started to add a whole bunch of candle groups on Facebook. So those are going to be some things that are going to be really good for you. Entrepreneur groups on Facebook, or candles groups, or bundles groups, you know, whatever the case may be. So I added a whole bunch of groups. I asked a lot of freaking questions, and somehow, some way, I was able to be successful with it. So those are just my quick tidbits. Let's keep going. So let's go on to some technical stuff. Once you figure out all the things that we've talked about earlier, and you figure out your name of your company, you got to LLC it. The reason why you got to LLC is because the government wants their money. They want you to have to pay taxes on when it comes to your company and your products. Also, you want to LLC it because that's going to give you more legitimate structure and leverage when it comes to selling your product. Nobody wants to buy something from somebody that's not legit. Also, you want to LLC it because that's how you're going to be able to do things like open up your small business accounts, and build credit within your business. Also, that's how you're going to be able to get your small business loans. Quick tidbit, you can LLC online. It's kind of hard. It asks a lot of technical stuff, but you can do it. It is done online. It's a government website. I'll put the link somewhere in this, but you can LLC it yourself. If you feel like that you can't do it, you can also go through a company. You will pay for that company to LLC your business out, but then you won't have to worry about certain stuff like putting things in wrong, sending in money that they're going to send back to you, etc., etc. Quick note, when you LLC, you have to have a registered agent. Your registered agent is going to be the person that can receive mail, and they have to be open business hours. But understand that your registered agent could be you, okay? I want to put that out there because that is very important, because a lot of these companies that's going to try to LLC for you, they're going to try to give you a registered agent that works for the company, and they're going to try to charge you for it. You do not have to have that. You can also LLC and get a registered agent. It could be a friend or a family member if they're dependable and trustworthy. Also, your registered agent has to be within the local state that you operate out of. So for me, I'm in Alabama. My registered agent is in Alabama as well. Once you LLC your business out, LLC is also going to help you when it comes to knowing if your name of your brand is available. That's the only way you'll be able to really know, because LLC is the legitimate way of documenting that you're operating under a certain brand or name. After you do all that and your LLC comes back, you are basically legal. You want to get your EIN. EINs are free. You can go on the government website. I put the link somewhere. Your EIN is very important. This is how you're going to also build credit when it comes to your business. This is what the last thing I want to tell you guys about is be sure to support other entrepreneurs, especially other Black-owned business entrepreneurs. For prime example, this candle right here that I have burned the mess out of and have been burning in my house and doing things with is from Semi Sense. It smells wonderful. It's made by a young Black entrepreneur that's located out in Georgia. And hey, go get her product. I mean, she's a woman too. Go get her product. I supported her because I'm a channeler just like her. Another thing to think about is like this shirt that I have on. This is a No Days Off shirt by Cartier, which is a sports fitness line, apparel line. I really home in on supporting Black-owned businesses because that's how you're going to make your connections with people and eventually be able to reach out to those people. Overall, I hope that these things helped. I hope that I was able to give you some insight and be able to help guide you just a little bit on starting your Black-owned business. So as a recap, figure out your product. Figure out the revenue when it comes to that product. Figure out your marketing and your branding. Make sure you get legit, LLC your name. Get your EIN. Open up a small bank account, a small Black-owned bank account, and be sure to support other Black businesses. That's all that I have for you guys. Hey, if you guys want any counters, I'm going to put the link as well in this video. I do have a major restock in July. July 1st is when we do our major Boss Babe line. I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to like it, thumbs it up, and let me know what other questions that you may have.